Hello and welcome to At the Red Line Three Thought Video. My name's Alec Gonzalez. I'm a life coach and spiritual director for pastors and leaders in the local church. And every day I come up with three verses to talk about for just a short period. The first one's in the book of Numbers, verse 7. On the 10th day of the seventh month, hold a sacred assembly. You must deny yourself and do no work. So I did a tiny bit of research on this. First of all, it's a festival, right? It's a holy assembly. It's a worship service for a whole day. And God is saying, deny yourself and do no work. And not no regular work, like no work at all. God is saying, don't be productive and don't, I think he's saying, don't feed yourself. I'm pretty sure that the idea here is that we deny ourselves the daily portion of food and we don't do any work. So, no satisfaction, no production. Those are the two things that our focus, that our attention, that our thought would be totally focused on God. It's a day that we remove ourself and our concern for our own self and our concern and ability to perform work that would benefit us would all be sort of set aside for a day that we would focus on God. And I think that's really important, that we should have time set aside in our life where our focus can be away from our own productivity, our own satisfaction, our own pleasing of ourselves, but totally focused on God and his love and kindness for us. Then in the book of Isaiah, there's a long prophecy, but one particular verse stood out. So their roots will decay, and their flowers blown away like dust. He's talking about men, right? He's talking about how these people who say that light is darkness, they say that good is evil, they they put darkness for light and light for darkness, bitter for sweet. They call good evil and evil good. They're wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight. It goes on and on. Um, but but the verse that stuck out to me is their root will be rot and their flowers blown away like dust. And it speaks, I think, of the sturdiness and security and just the strength and foundation of our life is going to be turned to dust. And that beautiful thing that is us, that we create, that we build, that we negotiate in the world, is just going to be blown away. It's going to be beautiful, right? I mean, it's created beautiful, but our beauty is turned to ashes, turned to dust, when we seem too wise in our own eyes, when we turn evil into good. And again, I don't like to go political in modern day, but sometimes when I look around me in the culture, I find this general desire to turn right from wrong, and turn wrong to right, and tell us what's plainly in front of us is not what's true. And um, God is opposed to that. Like, we got to call truth that's true truth. Okay, so moving on to the book of John, it says, "Sir," they said, "from now on, give us this bread." And so obviously this verse needs a little context. Jesus had fed a bunch of people bread and fish, and they come looking for him because there was bread and fish. And then he tells them, "For the bread of God is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." So they're thinking, hey, this life, we want this life. From now on, instead of giving us bread, that's sugar and flour and water and egg or whatever, we want this stuff that gives life. And Jesus helps them understand it's not physical bread to eat. It's him. He is the bread of life. It then goes on, "I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry, and he who believes in me will never thirst." So Jesus is saying, it's not what you eat, it's me and your receptivity to me. I just love it. I absolutely would love it in the Gospels where Jesus talks about himself with that positive affirmation of who he is. He is the one that's come from God, who's come to give us life and life eternal, right? Life that starts now and goes on forever and ever. It's just a great verse. From now on, give us this bread. And he says, I'm the bread of life. That's all for today. Hope you have a great time, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.